Ripple has just taken another major step toward expanding the capabilities of the XRP ledger, and this latest development could end up being one of the most important upgrades we've seen in a long time. While many people are focused on price action or short-term market movements, there's a much bigger story unfolding behind the scenes. Ripple continues to improve the XRP ledger with features designed specifically for the future of global finance. And this new proposal could play a critical role in attracting large banks, financial institutions, and enterprise-level users. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this new amendment means, why privacy on the XRP ledger matters, and how it could reshape institutional decentralized finance in the years ahead. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP. So be sure to stay focused, as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. One of the reasons I've remained interested in XRP over the years is because the technology has never stood still. The XRP ledger has continuously evolved through upgrades, improvements, and new functionality. Think about someone who bought XRP years ago during 2017 or 2018. The tokens they own today are technically the same XRP, but the network supporting those assets has become significantly more advanced. Every major improvement increases what the ledger is capable of doing without requiring users to purchase an entirely new asset. That's one of the unique strengths of decentralized networks. Instead of remaining frozen in time, they can continue improving while maintaining compatibility with everything already built on top of them. Unlike a traditional company where improvements depend on expanding the workforce or opening new offices, the XRP ledger grows through open-source development and decentralized upgrades. Developers continue adding new features that increase efficiency, improve scalability, and unlock entirely new use cases. As more capabilities are added, the network becomes more attractive for businesses, developers, institutions, and governments looking for blockchain infrastructure that can support real-world financial applications. Over the past few years, we've started to see a clearer picture of where the future financial system may be heading. Instead of replacing traditional finance overnight, blockchain technology appears to be integrating with existing financial infrastructure. Ripple has consistently positioned the XRP ledger as a blockchain built for institutional adoption rather than simply retail speculation. Many of the upgrades introduced over the past several years reflect that strategy. Faster settlement, tokenization, decentralized exchange improvements, smart features, and now enhanced privacy all point toward the same long-term objective. One of the latest developments attracting attention is the proposed XLS 96 amendment, which focuses on bringing privacy functionality to the XRP ledger. At first glance, privacy might not sound revolutionary, but once you understand what this proposal is trying to accomplish, its importance becomes much clearer. The goal isn't simply hiding transactions from everyone. Instead, it's about allowing assets to move between private environments and the public XRP ledger while preserving confidentiality where it's actually required. This directly addresses one of the biggest criticisms that has existed within the cryptocurrency industry for years. Many skeptics argued that large financial institutions would never use public blockchains because banks would simply build their own private networks instead. According to this argument, private blockchains would eventually replace public blockchains, leaving networks like XRP with little institutional relevance. However, that assumption has always overlooked something very important. Throughout history, almost every successful technology has included both public and private environments working together rather than competing against one another. The internet itself is a perfect example. Every day, people store private information on their personal devices while simultaneously sharing selected information publicly through websites and social media platforms. Both private and public systems exist together because they serve different purposes. Think about your smartphone. Thousands of photos remain stored privately inside your camera roll, while only a small percentage are uploaded to platforms where other people can view them. Nobody expects every picture they've ever taken to be instantly visible to the entire world. Privacy remains important, but that doesn't eliminate the usefulness of public sharing when appropriate. The same logic applies to financial assets. Individuals, companies, and banks don't necessarily want every transaction, treasury position, investment strategy, or balance sheet exposed publicly forever. At the same time, there are enormous benefits to participating in open financial marketplaces where liquidity is shared, settlements occur efficiently, and assets can move seamlessly across institutions. Rather than forcing organizations to choose between complete privacy or complete transparency, Ripple's vision appears to support both simultaneously. Financial institutions could maintain confidential internal operations while still interacting with the public XRP ledger whenever they need access to liquidity, decentralized markets, tokenized assets, lending, borrowing, or settlement services. This hybrid model may ultimately prove far more practical than the all-or-nothing approaches we've seen discussed throughout much of crypto's history. Privacy isn't replacing public blockchains. Instead, privacy becomes another feature that allows institutions to participate safely within public ecosystems. It's also important to understand that institutional privacy requirements differ dramatically from the privacy goals pursued by many cryptocurrency projects. Historically, several privacy-focused cryptocurrencies concentrated almost entirely on anonymous peer-to-peer transfers. Their primary feature involved hiding the sender, receiver, and transaction details completely. While that technology certainly has legitimate use cases, it also attracted regulatory scrutiny because anonymous transfers can potentially facilitate illicit financial activity. Large regulated institutions generally aren't searching for complete anonymity. Banks already operate within highly regulated environments where compliance, auditing, reporting, and oversight remain essential. What institutions actually care about is protecting commercially sensitive information. They don't necessarily want competitors monitoring treasury movements, liquidity positions, collateral allocation, internal portfolio adjustments, or risk management strategies in real time. Those operational details represent valuable competitive intelligence. Imagine if every investment decision made by a major global bank became instantly visible before it was completed. Competitors could react immediately, markets could move against them, and confidential strategies would lose much of their effectiveness. Protecting that type of information isn't about avoiding regulation. It's about maintaining normal business confidentiality. That's why bringing privacy functionality to institutional assets may be much more valuable than simply enabling anonymous token transfers. Banks want to continue using the financial instruments they already own. They want tokenized deposits, tokenized securities, stable assets, government bonds, commercial paper, and numerous other financial products represented digitally while maintaining appropriate privacy controls. Under this type of framework, institutions could securely hold tokenized assets within private environments before selectively accessing public liquidity whenever necessary. Certain activities would remain confidential, while others would intentionally interact with public markets because doing so offers better pricing, greater liquidity, and broader participation. This creates an interesting future where public and private financial infrastructure complement each other rather than competing against each other. Internal accounting, treasury management, and proprietary operations remain protected, while lending markets, borrowing, liquidity pools, token exchanges, and decentralized settlement occur through shared public infrastructure. The advantages become even more significant when considering today's financial markets. Right now, many institutional transactions rely on individually negotiated agreements between specific counterparties. Large banks frequently establish separate contracts with multiple financial organizations, each requiring legal documentation, settlement arrangements, and operational coordination. A unified public marketplace changes that dynamic entirely. Instead of negotiating isolated agreements repeatedly, Institutions could access shared liquidity contributed by participants from around the world. Every participant benefits from deeper markets, increased efficiency, improved price discovery, and faster settlement. As more institutions participate, liquidity naturally expands. Greater liquidity reduces friction, improves execution quality, and creates stronger incentives for even more participants to join. This network effect has transformed countless digital platforms throughout history, and financial markets are unlikely to be any different. The Internet itself followed a remarkably similar path. During its early years, many people questioned why it was necessary. Existing communication methods already worked, physical stores already existed, libraries already contained information, newspapers already delivered daily news, radio already provided entertainment. From today's perspective, those objections seem outdated, but at the time they reflected genuine uncertainty. Most people couldn't imagine how dramatically instantaneous global communication would reshape commerce, education, entertainment, research, and everyday life. Eventually, businesses embraced the Internet because it provided undeniable efficiency advantages. Consumers followed because institutions created user-friendly services that simplified access to previously impossible capabilities. Online shopping, search engines, streaming services, digital payments, and cloud computing all emerged gradually as infrastructure matured. The Internet of Value may follow a similar adoption curve. Most people don't spend time studying how international payments settle, how correspondent banking operates, how liquidity is sourced, or how institutional treasury systems function. Because these processes remain largely invisible, many underestimate how much improvement remains possible. Blockchain technology isn't simply about creating digital currencies. At its core, it's about improving how value moves across the global economy. Faster settlement, reduced costs, programmable assets, tokenization, interoperability, and transparent infrastructure all contribute to a more efficient financial system. Ripple appears to recognize that widespread adoption won't happen by expecting every individual to become a blockchain expert. Instead, institutions will likely provide the interfaces that ordinary users interact with every day. Just as consumers use internet applications without understanding networking protocols, future financial users may benefit from blockchain technology without realizing it's operating behind the scenes. The people following XRP today resemble early internet enthusiasts who recognized transformational potential before mainstream adoption occurred. Back then, many dismissed the internet because existing systems appeared sufficient. Today, similar skepticism surrounds blockchain technology because current financial infrastructure continues functioning, even if it's often slow, expensive, and fragmented. History shows that technologies capable of increasing efficiency eventually become extremely difficult to ignore. When information could move globally within seconds, businesses adapted. When commerce shifted online, industries transformed. If value begins moving with similar speed, transparency, programmability, and interoperability, another major technological shift could unfold. Ripple's continued investment in infrastructure upgrades suggests the company is preparing the XRP ledger for that future, rather than focusing exclusively on today's market conditions. Features like institutional privacy, tokenization support, interoperability improvements, decentralized finance capabilities, and enterprise-grade functionality indicate a long-term roadmap centered on real-world financial adoption. The proposed privacy amendment represents another important building block within that larger vision. It doesn't signal that institutions will abandon public blockchains. Instead, it demonstrates how private operations and public infrastructure can coexist, allowing organizations to benefit from both confidentiality and shared global liquidity. Whether adoption happens quickly or gradually, one thing remains clear. Ripple continues expanding the XRP ledger beyond simple payments into a comprehensive financial ecosystem capable of supporting banks, enterprises, governments, asset issuers, and decentralized applications simultaneously. If this direction continues, the XRP ledger could become one of the foundational pieces supporting the next generation of digital finance. And if that vision ultimately becomes reality, Today's developments may one day be viewed as some of the earliest building blocks that helped shape the Internet of Value. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.